Hey everyone, welcome back. Hope you're having a fantastic day so far. So we have some big news today as the inflation data just came in for the month of September, which now means that we have the 3 months that we need to compare to last year to figure out just how much the cost of living adjustment increase is going to be for all Social Security beneficiaries, whether you're a retiree, whether you're on SSI, or whether you're on SSDI benefits. So obviously this is big news, and these payments are going to start, once again, they are going to start in January. They're not going to start this month or next month. They're going to start in January of 2024. And of course, we're also still going to have to wait to see some other numbers come in, such as how much the Medicare Part B premium is going to increase by. It looks like it's going to increase probably somewhere between $14 to $15. Again, we should know that figure for sure at some point, probably in November at latest. So, of course, the inflation data did come in once again today, and all in all, inflation was up 0.4% over the past month, so that number is going up. It's unfortunate because now on an annual basis, that is now close to 5%. We want to see that much closer to 2%, and really we don't really want to see any inflation at all, because over the long term, even a 2% or 3% inflation year over year, let's say over 10 years, that's 20 to 30% inflation, which means that our value of the dollar keeps going less and less every year. Now, thankfully for Social Security beneficiaries, we do get a cost of living adjustment each year, which is supposed to keep up with inflation, even though it really never actually does, because the government sort of controls what these numbers look like. And there are some other metrics out there that suggest that inflation is actually much higher than what the cost of living adjustments actually are. But to get into the main point, anyways, the Social Security Administration did just release that the COLA for next year is going to be 3.2%. This was a number that we've been aiming at over the past couple of months. We knew it would be somewhere between 3 to 3.2%. But today it is official, even though inflation did rise by 0.4% or 4.8% on an annualized basis over the past month, the cost of living adjustment will be just 3.2%. So what does that mean going into 2024? Well, like I mentioned just a moment ago, we still have some figures that we need to look at, such as the Medicare Part B premium. So there will be some things that are going to be deducted from the check, which for some folks may mean they're not really going to be receiving much of a cost of living adjustment at all after everything is deducted in the increased Medicare Part B premiums. But all in all, retirees, what that's going to mean, SSI and SSDI beneficiaries is a 3.2% pay increase off your base, and then you're going to have everything deducted from there. So for retirees, the average check this year in 2023, as you can see at the chart up on the screen, has been right around $1,800. We have $1,827 up there. After the 3.2% adjustment, that should move the benefit up to, on an average basis, of right around $1,885. That's going to be a monthly increase of $58 or an annualized increase of $701. Now, for SSDI beneficiaries, the average benefit this year is right around $1,483. The cost of living adjustment, once again, is official at 3.2%, which means the average benefit will get boosted up to right around $1,530, which will be a monthly increase of $47 or an increase on an annual basis of $569. Now, for SSI beneficiaries, individuals, this year the max benefit for SSI individuals is $914. Now, sadly, a lot of folks actually qualify for a lot less than the amount. That is just the maximum for individuals. Couples do receive a little bit more than that. Keep in mind, now after the 3.2% adjustment, the max SSI benefit for individuals is going to get boosted up to $943, which is going to be a monthly increase of $29 or an annual increase of $351. Now, keep in mind, once again, those Medicare Part B premiums are going to decrease a lot of these monthly payments. So again, if that's going to increase by $14 to $15, that's going to cut down a lot of these monthly payments quite a bit. Now, as far as the max benefit for retirees, this year is $3,627. After a 3.2% adjustment, that's going to boost the 2024 benefit up to $3,743, which is going to be a monthly increase of $116 or an annual increase of $1,308. Now, if you can actually hold off until the age of 70. If you can wait another few years, if you have some earnings still coming in, or maybe you have other retirement accounts or savings you can live off of, and you can wait all the way until 70, the max benefit for those folks is well over $4,000. We're going to see even more increases in that as well. And then, of course, we're also going to be looking at some other numbers, because with inflation over the past year, we're also going to be moving up some other things. So the first thing that's going to be moving up next year, we don't yet have the official numbers in, but it should go up by right around 3.2%, is the earnings that you can make that you have to pay money into the trust fund as far as Social Security goes. So this year, in 2023, earnings up to $160,200 you'd be paying into the Social Security Trust Fund. So anything above $160,200, you would not have to pay a penny into the Social Security Trust Fund. You would not be taxed 6.2 to 12.4%. So for someone who made, like this, say $10 million per year, they would only pay the Social Security Trust Fund tax, the 6.2 to 12.4%, depending whether they're an employee or whether they're self-employed, into the trust fund. They would only pay on the first $160,200 that they earned. Any penny above that amount, they would not have to pay anything into the trust fund. That number should get boosted up a little bit more, probably close to $170,000. But again, inflation is only 3.2% this year, at least according to their metrics. So it's not really going to be moving up all that much higher. And then, of course, we have the retirement earnings test. That's pretty much how much income you can earn if you decide to start taking Social Security retirement before your full retirement age. If you decide to start taking it, like say as early as 62 or 63, you can actually earn up to $21,240 before you start having money deducted from your Social Security check. And then at you can earn up to $56,520 in the year in which you turn the full retirement age before you have money start getting deducted. Those two figures are going to be lifted up as well. And then, of course, in some other Social Security news, of course, the Republicans are still trying to nominate their House Speaker. Well, I guess I should say the House of Representatives, that is, because we have Republicans and Democrats both voting on who could be the House Speaker. So it could very well turn out that we have a Democrat in Hakeem Jeffries as the next House Speaker. It's not very likely, but it looks like Republicans are now favoring Steve Scalise. Before, they were voting on whether it be Scalise or Jim Jordan as the House Speaker. And then, of course, we had McCarthy as sort of a wild card, where maybe they would just go back to him, although it wasn't all that likely. But Republicans did vote on that, and they voted in a narrow favor of Steve Scalise. So now it looks like Steve Scalise is their guy, but there's going to be some Republicans who say they're not going to vote for Steve Scalise. So we might end up in a situation similar to earlier this year when they were trying to vote in McCarthy, and it took like 15 different votes because they could not hit the 218 vote threshold. So while we have all this really bad things going on, and they're trying to, fund the government and trying to make critical decisions in DC, we're going to see how long it takes for them to vote in the next House Speaker, because having a House Speaker is, extremely critical, even though it doesn't seem like they really get all that much done. Now, Scalise actually said that he is going to favor setting up a bipartisan commission to lower the amount of spending or lower the amount of debt. This, of course, would include Social Security. So they're looking to have basically people on both sides of the aisle, Republicans and Democrats, come up with different ideas where we can cut spending, because again, right now we are $32 to $33 trillion in debt. Just think of that like in human standards. Like if you or I or someone we knew had, even like $100,000 in credit card debt, obviously we would probably be looking into areas where we could cut spending. If we were getting a Starbucks every single day, maybe we could say, hey, let's cut back on the Starbucks. Instead, we can make our coffee at home. Same thing Congress needs to do here. They're looking at $32 trillion in debt. And again, it's not their debt. It's not Joe Biden's debt. It's our debt, because we have to pay in more taxes and or cut spending and basically have all programs cut. So we need to start today, get that debt under control. Otherwise, it's going to be our issue for the future, our children's issue, and our grandchildren's issue. So hopefully they can get something under control. And we can see, again, the chart up on the screen there. We can see where inflation has gone over the past year. It is trending downwards, but it has gone up a little bit since June. So hopefully we can get that down closer to 2%. But that's all the news that we have for today's video. Certainly hope that you enjoyed and found value out of it. and I will see you in the next one.